Hey, what's going on, More Rich Than Famous audience, family, community? Hopefully everybody's doing well. This is the first video segment for More Rich Than Famous. We've never done this before. Right now, I have an amazing guest for you all today. This is someone who I've actually interviewed last year. They've been in business, of course, going into the year 2 right now, so I'm super excited to see and to share with you all how they've made that transition from year 1 to year 2. We want to really build up on these video series. As I said, this is the first one, so definitely if you love it, like it, follow it, hit us up on YouTube, hit us up on Facebook. We're also on Instagram as well. Make sure you leave some wonderful, wonderful comments so that I know this is something that you want. But without further ado, let me introduce our guest to you. I am with Shifu Antonio at the Shifu Antonio Fight Club. He is the owner and founder of this very, very great concept that I won't go into. I'll let him go into it himself. This man will blow your mind, I promise you. So, ladies and gentlemen, Shifu Antonio.
Hey, thank you.
How you doing?
Yes,
What's going on?
How you doing?
I'm very good. I'm very good.
Good.
Appreciate you coming out. Thank you for making the time.
Oh, thank you. You're doing something that's very important. You're doing a great thing. I'm just humbled to be here. You know, thank you for giving this opportunity, providing such support. I've known you over the years.
Right. Yes. Yes.
I really love what you're doing. With More Rich Than Famous, I could tell it's going to be something that's going to be, just awesome, just phenomenal.
Thank you. I appreciate that. Appreciate that. Well, I guess we can dive in. So you're in year 2, Shifu Antonio Fight Club. What has that been like from year 1 to year 2?
Oh man. Starting out with all these, I came in with a lot of experience from the past and try to come in with all these preset ideas and the way that I wanted to do things was kind of limiting where the business should go. I knew where I wanted to be, but the business actually wanted to be somewhere else organically. Okay. So really having the patience and really having the flexibility to be able to just let go and allow the business to support the community for what the community needs itself, not necessarily for what I always wanted for the last 10 years, but really letting it go and allowing the business to be a thing of its own. Right. And where it wants to be in the future as opposed to who I was in the past, So that's deep. That's been the hard part, and
right.
And that's really allowing things to really take off, happen organically, and allowing me to just, it's funny just how letting go allows you to be, who you want to be.
What sort of forced that adjustment or that paradigm shift, should I say?
Yeah, actually studying paradigms.
Really? Okay.
Studying paradigms. I learned in philosophy how selfishness kind of stunts your growth. And selflessness actually builds your character. Okay. So I've always had that preset notion in my mind that, hey, you know what, I need to give, you reap what you sow,
Yeah.
So the more I let go, then the more I get back. That's just how it works. That's just the law,
right.
But then the more I hold on to, then the less I receive. So I think what it is that they hold on to is that they just want to accomplish their dreams, and they really have to understand is why are they doing what they're doing,
Mm-hmm.
And to me, the process was less important than, the ends. You want to utilize experience as a tool that has just really just given you faith, not necessarily the answers. You know what I mean? So
yeah,
if
totally.
you utilize experience as faith, not necessarily as like, oh, I have all the answers, I have all the solutions, because no, you really don't. You never met this person before.
Right.
But because of your experience, you know that you're willing to, and you're passionate. You're not sincere. You're actually serious about really helping somebody. A lot of people who are trying to start businesses aren't really problem solvers. And that's what a business is about. You're really trying to solve problems. So if you're focused too much on your calling, or you're focused too much on your passion and not really utilizing that fuel or that energy to solve individual, unique problems, then that's the difference between whether or not you're going to be successful or fail.
So you've created a really unique program that I also experienced myself here at the Shifu Antonio Fight Club. Can you share with us a bit about your program, and just to tie this back into entrepreneurship as well, not necessarily the weightlifting aspect, but I'm really curious to hear about your holistic approach of not only strengthening the body, but also strengthening the mind and spiritual strength as well, and how all of that is used to create and maintain the physical form that we all sort of have goals to achieve because we've signed up, right? Can you explain that a bit?
Yeah, sure. Our process is this. We do health,
Okay.
education,
Right.
and community.
Okay.
You know, from the health aspect, what we do is we provide personal training or just fitness solutions, whether it's group training, personal training, group fitness. And we utilize that as a way to help people have a discipline to kind of break up their rhythm, the rhythm that got them to where they want to be to begin with.
Right.
So it allows people to stop what they're doing and do something else.
Okay.
All right?
Right.
So that process of doing something else will lead them into a different direction.
Absolutely.
Okay, and cultivating the habit of that. But then as you begin understanding these individuals, then you realize that, okay, well, I mean, the way we look on the outside is simply a reflection of who we are on the inside.
Okay.
All right?
Absolutely.
So then you have to have some type of either a mental program or a spiritual program, okay? Spirit meaning the you inside,
Right.
not from a religious perspective.
Okay.
So then, well, we have to provide education.
Right.
Because with the right education, we provide workshops and different classes so that people can understand how to prevent what they don't want and also how to recover from what they don't want. So we kind of alleviate the ignorance that people will have so that way they can have the understanding and the knowledge which leads to well-being. You know what I mean? They can
Absolutely. Yes.
where they can. So so then we take it through that approach for just as far as our education. And then with the community, then we try to provide a network of people who are all trying to go in the same direction as you. So that way you can kind of unplug from the people who remind you of who you've been, and you can be around people who can remind you of where you want to go, you know, which is really your real self, where you can kind of be the person that you want to be instead of trying to pretend to be the person that you no longer want to be anymore, so that way you can keep the friends that you kind of got or keep the relationships that you need to let go. But now that you can be plugged into an environment, now you have the education, and now you have the solutions to really help you achieve what you want, as opposed to just getting some type of gym membership, going through a process, and then being lost, and then keep getting bombarded by individuals who just see you as a unit.
Right.
And if you don't have the financial means to really afford personal training, then you can sit down on the machine and grab some handlebars for a little bit and and try to make it work yourself.
Yes.
And then if that doesn't work, then you know, you saw a commercial or you saw something on social media and you want to try that.
Right.
But you know, we also follow science, so we're all NASM certified, and we go by the book. We build people up, we cook them from scratch.
Yeah.
We focus on stabilizing, we focus on their core, we focus on their range of motion. We help develop their coordination because they've been deconditioned. So before you can do any high level activity, just jump out and do burpees, we gotta strengthen these weaknesses that you have first. We gotta condition you. And then, you know, we gotta teach you how to swim before you just dive in the water.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Going into now community, you've mentioned that word a few times, and I don't think as entrepreneurs we talk about it well enough. We talk about networking, we talk about getting your followers up, we're talking about, you know, how many people are tuned into you. But two-part question. First one is, how has the community helped to build your business? Second part of that question is, what do you want to give back to the community? Or what impact do you want to have on your community?
Initially, I thought I was the business.
Right.
But that's because, you know, I'm here making the decisions, but in reality, the community is the business. You know, because I mean, you know, they're the ones who walk in the door.
Right.
They're the ones that enable you to keep the lights on.
Right.
They are the ones that determine whether or not you're going to continue providing certain services or whether you're going to discontinue certain services. So that's kind of my aspect of how important the community is. I mean, the community is everything to the business, because without the community, the business wouldn't even exist, or the business wouldn't even grow.
Right.
You know, so you really have to. If you're a smart entrepreneur and you're trying to solve problems, it's because of the community, whether it's on a local or international scope. I want to change the narrative, especially with black business. I kind of want to take that name off a little bit, because everything that I've learned, I'm just going to be honest, everything that I've learned about business, it's been because of either corporations that I worked for, or all my hands-on knowledge, all my working experience. We want to be like the right business, not necessarily labeled like the black. We just want to be a legitimate, serving, well put together, prospering, nurturing to the community. Like, we want to be a legitimate business. We want to actually represent the community and that we are in, provide for the communities that we are in, I kind of want to change the narrative, especially with black men, or just black individuals as a culture as a whole.
All right. Absolutely, absolutely. So with that narrative change, you want to change the narrative a bit about black business, is this what it sounds like. And you want to sort of change the idea of what a business owner looks like.
Correct.
Okay, as well. So that's one impact on the community. What other impact would you like to make as a gym? And I'm sort of leading you into this. It's something that we've spoken about before as well.
Also, one, I don't really like to call us a gym, because as a club, so a gym is really, I see a gym as the facility.
Okay,
whereas a club is we're the people. Right. And one area where I want to change is really just focusing more on the people, and actually providing care, not necessarily just workouts, or we actually want to provide a level of care, because I see medicine as, I see health and fitness as medicine of the future. And that's why we provide a holistic approach, because, our results are just simply a reflection of us, and if we want new results, then we have to change us. And the only way to change us is with education. So that's one thing that we try to make sure that we do differently, is actually caring about the people, as opposed to just caring about the operations or just caring about the numbers. You care about the people, growth will come, organically.
Okay, absolutely. Thank you. So last part, just some quick fire questions. Two that have popped in my mind right now. So quick fire questions. First thing, you have an audience of entrepreneurs here in front of you. Okay. And this is what I've said during the More Rich Than Famous podcast that I was doing. Audience 1,000, doesn't matter male, female, doesn't matter what age. They're leaning in on you right now because they're listening for that one thing that you can tell them that'll help them bridge maybe from year 1 to year 2. So what is your one piece of advice from a 1-year entrepreneur to move into year 2?
So in order to move from year 1 to year 2 as an entrepreneur, you have to be able to listen. I mean, that's kind of boils down to everything I was thinking. You have to be able to listen to what your clients are looking for, and you have to be willing to build relationships in order to get your clients to open up and be honest to you about what it is that they're looking for, so that way you can retain what it is that you have. So you have to be willing to listen, ask a lot of questions, do not assume that you know everything, and really just focus on your consumers.
Wow, great answer. Last book you read?
Well, I always read Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon Hill.
Right.
But I'm also reading Dr. Joe Dispenza, Evolve Your Brain. And I'm also reading Osho, Emotional Wellness, and Brian Tracy, The Psychology of Selling.
Okay. Shifu Antonio, thank you
Yes, sir.
so
Yes,
much for
sir.
your time, man.
Yes, sir.
This was dope, man.
Yes, sir.
Appreciate you coming out and hanging with the MRTF crew out here.
Yeah, I
So
appreciate
thank
you.
very
This
much,
is a
man.
wonderful thing that you're doing.
Yeah.
It allows the community, especially entrepreneurs, to know that, hey, you know what, you're not alone. There's people out here taking risk and sacrificing, you know, the things they thought they want to actually get the things that they, you know, that they actually want in the future, you know, which is just happiness, bliss, and well-being, and you know, nice state of mind. So.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And then one last thing, can you look into that camera right there and let them know your address and where you're located?
Oh, of course, of course. Shifu Antonio, owner at Shifu Antonio Fight Club. The fight is within. We're here in Capitol Heights, 60 Ritchie Road, Capitol Heights, Maryland, 20743. Instagram at Shifu Antonio.
Shifu Antonio, thank you for your time. More Rich Than Famous crew, this is what we do. We find those unsung heroes here working within the community. I want to thank Shifu Antonio for his time. If you want to follow us, please follow us on Instagram at More Rich Than Famous. We're also on Facebook at More Rich Than Famous. We also have a website, morerichthanfamous.com. And now, after this first video, we will be launching a YouTube channel at More Rich Than Famous. So thank you, and look forward to our next show.